Once we run the command, and if everything is successful, as you can see, info all actions completed, then we can view our forms in the CHT application. So let's go back to our application. Let me log in. So child health assessment form. Like we saw earlier, when we ask what is the patient's name, this was something that we would like to select from the database object. So moving on to next, this field is the decimal field that we specified earlier, and we can see the asterisk sign over here denotes these are required. If we try to move forward without filling this information, then we get this message, this field is required, and we can specify that field is required, adding yes for the column required for the specific entry. So let me put some field over here, let me put some data over here, and you can see this field over here, this question, did the patient receive an immunization package, does not has the asterisk sign, which means this is not required. So if I move forward, so the other thing we saw was is the patient unwell. If I select no, then there is not a question that appears, compared to if I select yes, then it asks for the multiple questions that we talked about earlier. So the one of the question it asks is the multiple choice to select symptoms the patient is having now, and when did the symptoms first started. So if I select these, and I can also select the date when did the symptoms start. The next page shows different information or the notes based on the information that we added. So if we go back to the XLS form, so here we can see we have different notes that we would like to display based on whether the question is the patient unwell was selected or not. So these notes would appear only if the patient is unwell. If I go back and I do no, then I do not see that page. Instead, I'm directly taken to the summary page. If I do yes, and next I see different messages, and finally still I'll be taken to the summary page. And here in the summary page, we can use the hidden field that we pulled earlier. So as we discussed over here, these fields were not on the UI earlier on the page, but then we can use these fields to display in the summary page, where we are taking the name, weight, sex, height, age, and other patient details to show in the summary page. This way we can submit the form, and once we submit the form, now we can see the reports tab gets updated. And we can see there is a new report here. This way we can create a simple form in the CHT application.